Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be going through upgrading the screen on your BMW X5. This is the F15 version. I think this is 2014, but it stays consistent for all of the F15 versions. Now if you got a later model F15 that has got the factory touchscreen, you want to get a bigger screen, that is an NBT Evo. Don't get the NBT version. This one right here is the NBT, and the way you can tell is by going into the home menu. If you see all this menu covered in that red thing there, if it's just not a red outline, is the whole thing is highlighted, that means it's NBT. And the other way to tell with Evo and NBT, the Evo has different menus. It's gonna have square, square, square everywhere around. Now the main goal for this one is to have a bigger screen that's got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and you can do other stuff like YouTube, Foxtel, KO, all of that jazz. Apart from that, we also want to retain your factory steering wheel controls. And this is going to be a fairly straightforward install. If you use an iPhone or Android, it's not going to make any difference. You'll find out in a minute once we do the install why it's not going to make any difference. A lot of these systems, they require for you to run an aux to the center console. Our system does not do that. It can connect via the factory Bluetooth. I'll show you how to do that. And without any further delay, let's get started into the installation. All right, so the first trim to come out is this trim around here. Now it's only held in by clips, no screws whatsoever. So you can take your pry tool, you can pry a little bit there, a little bit here, and a little bit on the end, and this whole thing will pop out. Now behind here you'll find three connections. Go ahead and undo all three of them. One of them is just a pull-out tab, the other two is thumb press and pull out. Once you have those things out, this panel can sit on the side. Alright, so for next bit, we have to remove this factory screen. It's only held in by two Torx 20, so one on the left side, one on the right side. And what you can do from here is just slide the screen out and undo the two connections at the back, and the screen can be put to the side. For next bit, you want to go ahead and remove this bottom plastic panel. It's just held in by clips. What you can do, get your pry tool on either side, and it will just slide out of place. To not pry against the piano black, you will scratch that bit very easily. So just make sure you pry around the side of the thing. This will slide out, put it to the side. Now you've got two Torx 20, one on the left, one on the right. Go ahead and undo them, and this panel will come out. It's going to be a couple of plugs behind that we're going to remove. Now the screws you got out of the screen mounts, keep them separate. They're different length, so when you're putting it back in, make sure you put it back in the screen spot. Now after you remove the front fascia, you will reveal the NBT radio. Now in order to remove this, there's four Torx 20, two on the left, two on the right. Go ahead and undo those four Torx 20. Make sure you've got something soft covering the bottom, so when you remove the radio, you don't want to scratch anything around the piece. So go ahead and undo those four, and there's going to be a few plugs behind that we have to undo. You don't actually have to remove all of the plugs, just the one on the left side next to your big chunky cold lock connector, as well as some antennas on the left side. We'll only undo those bits, and then we can start mounting your new system. All right, once you've undone this big chunky connector, you want to go ahead and remove the fiber optic. Now make sure you make a note of what orientation this is going in. There's usually a numbering on there. As you can see, this one said number 2 on top and number 1 at the bottom. So when we plug it back into our new T-harness, you want to make sure you put it back in the same spot, which is this one here, having the number 2 facing up and number 1 facing down. That way your amp will trigger on, you will have sound, otherwise you won't have sound. Some cars you can't even have camera without it. And with those things unplugged, this is pretty much everything that's going to be disassembled for this point. Now from here on, we can start mounting our new screen. As you can see, what I've done at this stage is gone ahead and undo a little bit of the tape. That allows for me to have more room with my fiber optics. When plugging in the T-harness, this will go into another quad lock connection. Still gives you enough room to move the old chunky connector away when you're putting the old radio back in. Now from here on, it's pretty much plug and play. First thing we want to do is run everything that needs to go here around here. From here we will route the wiring to go up, top, behind, wherever they need to go. Usually my aerials, I like to mount my Wi-Fi antenna around here, my GPS antenna somewhere around there. That's enough for the reception that you need within a car. It gives you good reception with your 4G and everything, so nothing for you to worry about. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So what I'm doing at this stage is running all my antennas and all of the wiring that needs to be run and going into the back of the screen, so you can run it through here where all the factory wiring is going. And whatever is the excess, what I'm going to do is use this nice fabric cloth around here, tape up all the excess. That way there's no rattling behind. It looks nice and neat, it looks like factory finish, and that's the aim of this video. I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing with my Wi-Fi aerial. Now you can see, you can differentiate between the two. As you can see, the GPS antenna is a square looking thing, and it's got this copper output at the end to screw into the back of the screen. On the Wi-Fi antenna, it's silver in color, it's a long antenna, So that's the easiest way to differentiate the two. You can go ahead and mount both of them on a piece of plastic. Just make sure you do not mount either one on a piece of metal. Clearly says that in the instructions not to mount either one of them on a piece of metal, so don't do that. Go ahead and install our aerial here and type up the access. Same thing again. Now the next part which you are going to install is our USB port. So you can plug in hard drives and stuff in here to play movies. You can also use it to run your phone charger. Now how I like to do it is tape up all of this wiring, make it a one go, and at the end just leave two of them at the back. And I like to run it from here at the corner, coming inside, going up straight to the back of the screen. So again, for the first part of it, we'll start taping it up. Now once the rest of the stuff has been run to the top of the car, now it's time to plug in our main power harness. So you can see you can match this flat corner here to where we remove the fiber optics, and this should plug in fairly well. Plug it there, click. Now you can see the new part has the same holes as the original one did. So take your fiber optics and plug it in the top section here. Make sure the number 2 is facing up like it did in the original one, and run the other end to the top. Now in this case, the customer has requested to run an external high definition mic, which we are going to do, which is going to be essentially better than what was in the car before. Now with this mic, here is the mic cable. All that we have done is run the mic to the A pillar, mounted nicely, so this cable needs to go up top as well. Now as you can see, what I've done at this stage is gone ahead and got everything here on top. That makes it easier for us to tape anything that needs to be taped, not necessarily meaning that we're going to leave this here. So once everything is taped, it's looking nice and neat, we'll pull it back from here, put it back into where it's supposed to be. That way it's hidden there, only the necessary plugs are going to stay up here, and next part when we mount the fascia, we can plug all the cables and pull all the excess back down. And the next part is installing the fascia. So you want to run all the wires through here, coming out, mount this fascia in the factory spot, and use the original screen screws to screw it in. Don't use the other one, they're different lengths. So just go ahead and mount that in. Now in this case, we are going to mount a SIM card into the screen. So just so you see at the back of the screen, there's a SIM card provision here. So just using the SIM card ejection tool, pop the tray out, put the SIM card in, put it in. This will help to run YouTube, Netflix, and all the other function without any disruption. So you don't have to do hotspot every time you get in the car. If you're mounting the SIM card, go ahead and put the SIM card tray back in. And once you're done with that, you can start plugging all of these back in. So you can see the silver one will go to the 4G behind here. The orange one or the copper one will go to the GPS, and all of the other one can only go in one way, so just don't force anything in. See what fits where, and they can only go in one way, so you can't get it wrong. Once everything has been plugged back in, you can go ahead and run the wires at the back of the screen and start mounting the screen. Now once the entire screen has been mounted in place, you can see it's nice and sturdy. You can start to put all of these back in the way they came out. Start by neatening up all the wires at the back, plug in the main power, connecting all of the antennas that you took out. Go ahead and push the radio back in, make sure it's not pinching any of the other wires. Once you're comfortable that it's sitting in a nice position, start by screwing all 4 of the screws for the radio. Then you can get your climate panel, plug the 2 plugs at the back, push the climate panel back in, then goes the bottom cover, and then the main trim. Make sure to plug in all 3 of the plugs that you undid at the start of the install, and then you can just push it back in again, just clips, it will sit in place. Alright, so we've turned the car on, the screen is working fine. As you can see, super responsive, there's absolute 0 lag whatsoever. This is an amazing screen. Now in order to set up your original car menu, what you want to do is swipe it from left to the right. You'll see all these different information. So click on the first one, try which one works for your car. Click back, and then to make it between full screen and half screen, you can go large screen. It goes into the entire screen of the car. That's all you have to do there. And then from here, you can access all of your original BMW stuff, including your engine check, your tire pressure check, service check. Everything is on there like it was in the previous system. So you don't lose any of the function from the original one. Now this system, you can just go ahead and swipe down, click home, go here, go to menu, say if you want to play something on YouTube, and there you go, everything working. Just try the volume. Yep, the volume is working. Perfect, everything seems to be working. Now you can also go ahead and do a split screen. So press and hold split screen, and then I can go ahead and select maps, skip, whatever. It's crazy how good this system works.
Then turn right onto Victoria Avenue.
Now when you want to connect to Apple CarPlay, all that you have to do is go into the phone here. On your phone, let's go into settings, go Bluetooth, and then we'll look for the BT1963 as it says there. So just click on that, connect pair. Should prompt us to go into Apple CarPlay once this is connected. As you can see, it will show you on top that it's connected. The first time pairing, it will ask for an access to go into Apple CarPlay. Click on that, and we are into Apple CarPlay. How good is that? Your Spotify, everything is working. You can see it's super smooth, no lag whatsoever. Really nice. It's crazy how good this system works. You can still use your original dial, you can use your steering controls, your volume dial, the whole lot continues to work. Now if you guys want a system like this done into your X5, if you want this exact kit, you can go on to www.westernautocustoms.com.au to get this exact kit for your F15 or any other BMW. We've got kits for most of the car. Or if you want something like this professionally installed, reach out to us on info@westernautocustoms.com.au. we can help you get it installed anywhere in Australia. We've got people all around who can help you with installation. We are personally based in Victoria, so if you're in Victoria, we can install it for you. If you're in other places, we can help you get the whole system fitted. That's gonna be it for us in this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.